Good day and good deeds. Welcome to the We Do Good podcast. I am your host, Charles Dame. Today we are honored to welcome Thomas Colter, U.S. Marine, hardcore devil dog, former prosecutor, and founder of the law group Law Patriot here in Stuart, Florida. Thomas served in Mogadishu during Operation Restore Hope. We're both fellow Somalian brothers, both Marines. After earning his law degree from Florida State, he prosecuted criminal cases in the 19th Florida District Circuit, if I've got that right, and established his own law firm at Law Patriot. He leads a team of former prosecutors dedicated to defending families, individuals accused of crimes, and those injured in accidents. Thomas, welcome to the We Do Good podcast, and thanks for being here, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's kick things off with a few simple questions, and I'm going to get right to the heart of what you and I have both done together. The wonderful land on the Horn of Africa that you and I spent some time chewing dirt around. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience in Mogadishu as an infantry guy and how that kind of shaped what you do now in a law firm?
All right. Well, anyway, Mogadishu was one of those periods of time that literally changed my life. Like when I joined the Marine Corps, I wanted to be not just the Marine Corps, Marine Corps Infantry, and I wanted to get deployed. I didn't want to sit at base. I didn't want to, just wear a uniform for 4 years. And so I got to deploy 3 times in about 2.5 years. Mogadishu was by far the funnest and the most informative. Obviously, it was very dangerous. We got there right before Christmas, 1992. And obviously it took over the airport and then eventually the stadium and then patrolled the city for 4 months.
Santa said hello to the Horn of Africa.
That's right. It was wonderful. It was a great time.
You and I were talking in my office just a little while ago. It was a pretty cool conversation. And while we were having that conversation, you mentioned something to me that I just haven't heard very often. And that was the word fixed bayonets.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, would you share that story with our audience?
Well, yeah, I have a series of things that literally are unique about my time in the Marine Corps that many people have never heard. And there's always a witness to back them up, which has been I'm very thankful for that because there's been some serious BS called, But I'm one
Can
of the
I get a witness?
Hey, I'm one of the only Marines I know. There was about 20 of us that day that fixed bayonets in combat. And we were at some market in Mogadishu, and the locals were getting a little bit rowdy, being a little bit less responsive to our commands than we liked. And we heard from the lieutenant all of a sudden behind us, fix, Marines, fix bayonets. And so we did, and it dispersed the crowd. It was hilarious.
It's amazing how quickly that'll move people in a different direction.
It was unbelievable, but we were even shocked that we were fixing bayonets. Like, we just thought we had them for, whatever, because Marines had always carried them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I would have been, I can't even remember a time I was asked to fix bayonets other than like SOI.
Right.
Yeah, you were an instructor at SOI, right?
I was. Yeah, I finished there at the Marine Corps School of Infantry. I had just come back from Somalia. My mom, long story, my mom ended up passing away. I got some duty with the local recruiter, and then I got sent back. My unit had been dispersed, and they sent me up to the School of Infantry, which was a great honor to teach. And so basically, that's how I finished the Marine Corps.
That's absolutely fantastic. So after your time in service, what led you to transition into the legal world?
Well, my wife at the time got pregnant. My last year in the Marine Corps, I got married. I remember my gunnery sergeant yelling at me, telling me that, Marine, you're not getting married. There's no way you're doing it. If Chesty Puller wanted you to have a wife, he would have issued one, et cetera, et cetera. She got pregnant right away, and then I got out of the Marine Corps. Had no insurance. She got pregnant again, then again, 3 kids, 3 years. And then I was working construction, and, I always wanted to be a lawyer. Even when I remember being young, I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't have the education. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what a verb was. I was that guy. People liked me in high school, but I wasn't an academic, And so I started to dream. Part of that came from hearing the gospel in the Marine Corps, but I started to dream about different things I could do other than manual labor. And I eventually went to school with 3 kids, graduated from undergrad in less than, I think, 2.5 years, because we switched up days. The wife would go one day, I'd go the next. We took all the same classes and watched the kids. It was great.
That's absolutely amazing. It kind of brings me the way you said that to the thought process of manifestation.
Yes.
And how we manifest the outcome of what's in front of us. And we don't even know we're learning that when we go through the Marine Corps boot camp and we go through the different skills, but we learn how to manifest. So that's kind of what you're talking about, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it was a dream, and it had to be birthed. The manifestation when I was dreaming was impossible. If anybody from high school would have thought, first of all, I'd have been a Marine, would have been in combat, would have been a lawyer, and then even a successful lawyer, it's
Very
crazy.
successful lawyer, by the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But it's crazy. And even some of my competitors now, they don't know how or why I succeed. And what it is, a lot of that is what my dad taught me, but definitely he was in the Navy. God bless that man. Served 21 and a half years.
They gave us a ride to fight, which is always good.
Yes. And he was very mad when I joined the Marine Corps. He wasn't happy. But he taught me a work ethic, and then the Marine Corps just doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on that, and just don't give up. And
Yeah, that's what I was going to kind of ask you is like, what from the Marine Corps kind of influenced your legal practice today and what you guys do over there at Law Patriot?
yeah. Well, first of all, we come from a moral base, very constitutional Americana base. We believe in right and wrong, which is not popular with most attorneys. Most attorneys are liberal. I'm not. And I think that's why I'm attractive to people. Why not have an attorney that believes some of the things you do and that actually likes you? But I serve everybody, literally black, white, blue, green, every creed, color. I don't care what people believe. I'll fight for them, like as the Marines do.
Hoorah.
Yeah, as the Marines do. And to me, it's I like the right side. If there is a right side, we don't always get the right side, but I tell everybody I do about 90% of the time. And I think that's how I do the intake. I just tell them what I think and what I believe and what I'm willing to fight for, whether it's good, whether I can win or not. There's no guarantee, right? But
It's
we'll
always
fight.
about winning.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
We'll
brother.
fight.
Wait, I don't want to fight if I'm not going to win.
You're right. Yeah, most people I really don't understand it, but because I like to win, but
Yeah.
sometimes bluffing you can win. So like what Trump says, peace through strength. He's not the only one. Reagan, Thatcher. It's been from the beginning of time. From a position of strength. But there are sometimes, or even when I believe I'm in a position of strength, I kind of know I'm not. But the way I portray that and the way I negotiate, literally through negotiation, we get better results than you ever can usually in front of a court, which is just like in a prize fight. You don't want to go to the judges. They're great people, but what if they saw it a different way? You have no recourse, really.
Right.
So you want to, well, I do want to win through negotiation. I love mediation. And I remember in law school, I was probably the least, book smart person. And the bottom line is they were all telling, fluffy ideas about why we're in this mediation class and why they were there. And I was 10 years older than everybody. And they asked me, they said, Tom, why are you here? I said, to listen to every one of you and to learn how to beat you. You'd have thought that I said something wrong. But I'm like, no, I still use it today. I want to, first of all, I'm coming from a position where I think I'm right. Based on Americana, the Bible. You're right. I'm not. If I'm
Yeah.
wrong, I don't know it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm wanting to win for good. I'm not wanting to win for bad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it that's why I love that, because I will argue, and it does irritate people. If you have a point and a purpose, it absolutely irritates people. But that's what we do. We take a lot of cases where everybody's lost hope.
Yeah, that's absolutely, and Law Patriot has that mission for that. How did you find yourself reflecting on your personal values and establishing Law Patriot? What inspired you to establish Law Patriot, and how does that reflect on your personal values?
Well, let me tell you. Obviously, my name, it was Colter, 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 Colter. It was all focused on me. Well, I was getting older, and I can't be in 5 places at once. Although this week I did one day 3 mediations, 8 criminal cases, 2 different counties, answered the phone. So
Let's go.
I can do a lot. I can multitask. I think Marines can. But and it's funny, before I forget. It's funny, we both. I don't know if when you were there, I think it was still Operation Restore Hope, right?
Yep.
That's been almost eerie to me, that what I basically do as a professional is restore hope, no joke. And that was years before I ever knew I was going to be doing this, that ultimately that's what I was going to do. But it started draining on me. And then sometimes I knew, just like in the Marine Corps, it can't just be one person. If somebody falls, you got to be able to pick up the M16 and the next guy's got to do it.
Yeah.
And so that was my dream. Well, it's not easily done, because I do believe, and sometimes it's hard to teach that passion. But what I wanted to do is not so much focused on me, focused on a team. The problem is when I chose Law Patriot, I thought it was divinely inspired, first of all, which is very funny. Okay. A lot of people laugh at
Yeah.
me, but I thought it was. And I was a little scared because I was like, man, that's going to piss some people off, honestly. I just the boldness of it, and it's not like
Oh, I love it.
oh, I love it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the eagle in the emblem
It
and
kept
the
getting
red, white,
better.
and blue. It's like gives you chills. You see it and you want to go. You want to fix bayonets.
Yes, that's right. And it gives people hope. Like obviously this dude and whoever's in that firm believes in something
Yeah.
first. And nobody cares. The way I advertise, I mean, it literally crosses every boundary. Everybody's welcome. And it's so accepted. But when I took that step, actually the pressure against me got worse. Because that was like, I don't know, that must have been like the Romans putting up one of the, or the Marines saying, hey, we're the best of any service type of thing.
We are.
I know. But when we say it causes a little bit of discord. And that I wasn't ready for that. Okay. It was almost like, people just, it brought a lot of heat, but with that was a lot of success. It's one of the best ideas I've ever had. People literally love it from every walk of life. I wish people could see the diversity of the folks that come into our office and tell me, bro, that 6 by 8 foot custom picture of Trump, I love it. And you wouldn't think from their background they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
And it just gives us something to fight around, And recently I was looking for an attorney, man. It doesn't matter what you believe, whether it's conservative, liberal, this or that, but I couldn't find someone who understood me,
Yeah.
that wouldn't judge me, that would be like, yo, you're going to give me a fair shot regardless, even if you don't believe the way I do. And that's one thing I think we provide or pride ourselves on, that literally, as long as you're not mean and hurting somebody, put that aside,
Yeah.
But listen, even if you don't have the best case, come on, man, let's fight as long as it's based in good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we've developed it over there. It's fun. I mean, you see that cyber truck? That thing is wrapped.
That is,
It's so
that's
beautiful.
absolutely cool. I just ended up getting a Model Y, and I absolutely loved the push button,
Yeah.
drive me home.
Yeah.
And I'm going home.
Right.
That's which is absolutely awesome.
And it's so intuitive and fun. I first got a Tesla a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and because I was like, yo,
Shout out to Elon Musk, by the way.
hey, the guy's great.
Yeah.
But he's landed rocket ships in reverse from the moon. I love the imagination, and so I'm like, let me, me and my son get together. He can drive this car too, and just love on it. Well, long story short, I was getting heckled. It's the first time I'm getting heckled around town from a car I drive, and so I put a Marine Corps plate on that, and it stopped. It was great, man. But anyway. Then I got that cyber truck. My wife did not want that cyber truck, but I said, we are going to get that cyber truck. Just think of the grandkids, and then just think of it wrapped. So once it got wrapped, I get cheered like kids, men, women, stop, like beeping. I've never, like, almost like I'm in a parade. It's the best thing. So.
Yeah, it is super. The Cybertruck is super cool.
Yeah.
Given your background as a prosecutor, how does that experience as a former prosecutor inform the strategies you use now in defense of other people?
All right. Well, let me tell you something. That was one of the highest honors of my life. I literally love that job. A lot of those guys literally fight evil, and putting evil aside for a moment, most people just had a bad night. They just listen,
Yeah.
man.
I've had them.
It affected their relationship. It affected their job, and it might have affected their freedom, and they need to just be taken care of. So, I prosecuted. I loved it. I got to lead in what I thought was from a position of strength, and I had a purpose. I wanted to give people just enough justice to hopefully learn a lesson and get on with life. But I started feeling like maybe, I don't know, that whole thing about Operation Restore Hope, the downtrodden and stuff. I started to identify more with someone accused of a crime, like almost like I use the word prophetic, but a redemptive position that you can take in somebody's life. Like, I know X is wrong. I know Y is wrong. I know this guy, because I'm meeting with him, or this lady, that they don't want to live that way. And that I can get in there and hopefully get them whatever tools they need, because there's plenty in the community, whether it's a rehabilitation program, a book, a podcast, something to where they can start to change.
WeDoGood podcast.
That's right, man. But somewhere they can renew their mind is what I call it, but change the way they think and act. And we've done that. Like my office, that office, is so beautiful. People literally love it. It was remodeled by all former addicts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people didn't make it, but these guys did. They're all happily, they're employed, they're married. So I pride myself, and I don't know if anybody believes me on the other side, but I pride myself on telling people the truth. Like, just like if I was coaching them.
Yeah, I just don't believe you. I know it's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's true, bro.
absolutely, brother.
It is
Yeah.
true. But
Yeah.
because I'm not the best example of it, but I believe in the Gospels. I mean, I
Yeah.
do. So, and I know that helps us. And what if I didn't believe in push-ups, but I know they're good? I can passionately tell someone else, bro, you gotta
I
start
wish
doing
I was able
push-ups.
to do them like I used to be able to do them, man. I can't
Me
do them
too.
like I used to. I'll tell you, my wrists hurt like crazy. So, listen, man. There's how do you balance aggressive advocacy with the goal of achieving a peaceful resolution for your clients? You want your clients to leave with peace,
Yeah.
and in a lot of stuff you deal with, it's not a
Yeah.
situation where peace is the reason they're there.
All right, couple things, man. I always, blessed are the peacemakers. I believe Trump is a peacemaker. I believe in peace. I love peace. Peace is my, peace through strength. It's literally everything I believe, everything I've been taught, everything I believe America is. So my whole point is peace. I think what's different now is tempering the aggression, because some people can't advance the ball all at once. And so my competitiveness, say it's still competitive, but back in the day, I didn't know how to let people quit or finish, because I believed in them, right? And I would push them too far. I would, same thing like when we were training in the Marine Corps. Sometimes you got to stop running. All right, Gunny. Hey, come on. We already did that, right? Like, let us go back to the barrack. We've been cleaning for 4 days. Put us on leave,
Yeah.
And so
No, do it again.
right, do it again. I'll tell you a story about that, bro. I was the ultimate slacker when it came to that. I owned those guys, but no. So like now, I think I let people, and I represent mostly women, so I let people finish better, and I realize more that they're afraid. Like I'm not. When I was kicking in doors in Mogadishu, maybe I should have been afraid, but I wasn't. I was too young and maybe not bright enough to realize how dangerous that was. But
That's the
now,
key, right?
yeah,
That's the right enough aggression and enough adrenaline, and you don't really know that you're in the danger you're in. You just know the guy behind you is coming in as hard as you are,
just
and
fighting.
whatever's on the other side, they're in some
Yeah.
deep trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. So I listen to their fear a little bit more and I respect it. But sometimes, but you got to just grab them and pull them out the window and just say, trust me. If I had a time machine and I could talk to you in 6 months, you'd be thankful that I did it.
Yeah.
And other times we just settle. But it's that aggression, and I try to stay on the right side. I check myself. Like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this good? Like, could I justify this? And yes, we can, right? And if we get new information, obviously, listen, I'm all about a good settlement. But at the same time, some of the best on a regular basis results we get are not from the law. They're from negotiation, from morals, which are the law's based on. Just
Yeah,
like being able to
ethics is
talk
a
to
great
somebody.
thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, how has your family influenced your professional journey? I know, like with me, my family, it's been my cornerstone for everything that I am. My family has held me up when I was at my deepest, darkest moments, and having children, man. What a difference they made to bring me up to because I had to live up to an example now that I wanted my kids to see. So, how's your family influenced your professional journey and your commitment? Because something you're really big at, and I'm super excited at what you do here in the area, but also your community service and how you help others. How's your family influenced that?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, really good family. You know, first marriage I had was tough, not because of her, but because of where we came from. We came from nothing, right? Like I didn't know what a verb was, and I had a dream that I wanted to be a lawyer. Bro, I was in law school with 3 kids, broke. Okay, broke, living in government housing. Hey, and they said they're talking one day, as these kids do, and they're like, "Hey, what'd you get on the SAT?" They're telling everybody. They asked me. I said 740, and they said, "On which part?" I'm like, "There's 2 parts, right?" No, I'm beating all of them. Listen, it doesn't matter.
Like I signed my name.
Right. I took the LSAT. I graduated Florida State, but the bottom line is I'm beating all these guys who are maybe smart. I don't think they're that smart. I don't think they're smarter. But at that time, maybe they were.
Yeah.
And so we came from a situation where we were at one place to where literally killing it in business. And there was a lot of pushback on that. And I think that stressed a lot of things out. I think it hurt my kids at times because I worked so much. There was one thing that I could do good that I felt like literally, it doesn't matter what was going on. If you ask me, come into my office with a consultation, and you ask me a question, I don't care if I'm tired. It's like I just come alive and I know the answer. I know which way to go. I can't guarantee anything, but it's passionate. So I think that kept me pumped up. Now my kids are awesome. They've always influenced. They're all faith-based people. They all believe in right and wrong. No one wants me out there doing crazy, and I think they're thankful I'm a conservative lawyer. I wouldn't have fit in as your normal liberal lawyer.
Yeah.
I just don't fit in. But yeah, man, it believes everything we do. We're faith-based, and so giving is another thing. My dad taught me about giving. My dad was broke for much of his life. He's the hardest working guy I know, but he found the gospel, man. Listen, I was that Catholic kid that got brought to church by the Baptists and made a decision on Wednesday night. I got grounded that night. No joke. So my dad finally found the Lord, and he literally is a different person, but he was a giver. He started giving things away. And so, if anything, I've been to therapy a few times. I don't know if I need it. I
needed it and probably still need it.
Hey, be serious here. But one of the things I deal with in therapy, not giving away too much stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know what happened, but I love to give, and sometimes I give, honestly, too much. I stretch myself because I do believe in that, and I truly believe you don't truly give everything away. It does come back to you, and so I love that. But I don't know if that came from necessarily my family. That probably came from my father and his belief, obviously, in God.
Yeah.
And the scriptures that I heard. So I love charities, man. I'm looking forward to get involved more with yours.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question, right? Can we discuss any initiatives or programs, firms that you support and that you align with, values, things along those lines? I know definitely from our conversations, WeDoGood is something you align with and that you're all about. But what other things are you into in the community?
I tell you what, it varies, man. Like, first of all, our own firm. Nobody gives me credit, right? It's so funny. Almost like, nobody believes it. I think last year, okay, we forgave, granted, or gave away $400,000.
Holy
no
cow.
Joke, brother.
Wow.
That's not even counting my personal giving. No kidding. And you do good, but we try to do good, right? I mean, isn't that what it's all about? And it can break your heart when you're doing good because you're stretched. I mean, we treasure your heart is. So sometimes you give, you don't get anything in return, which is not why you give, but it can discourage you. Yes, have I been discouraged? Absolutely. But we continue to give in our business. We love on people. We give veteran grants and stuff like that. But it's not guaranteed. We forgive debt, but it's not guaranteed. Actually, if somebody asks for it, it's less fun.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, and then obviously there's a bunch of causes. Veterans causes I like very much. Law enforcement I like, obviously, just so that I identify. We give to a lot.
Gotta love the boys in blue, man.
I do.
Those dudes are out there every day
They're
putting
awesome.
it on the line, and they are good people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's good to see them being protected too, man. Recently in the riots, I love them being able to protect themselves. It's beautiful. I really do.
Yeah.
And a lot of churches, various churches. I don't know if I see somebody doing good, something that I like that speaks to me, I try to give. I've obviously Brewfest. I used to love that. I got to stay low a little bit these days.
Yeah. Well, your marriage does that.
Right. I don't think she'd mind, but you just got to have a little bit of, press for a little bit of, stay below the radar.
I got you.
But I got to get my name out there again because that's a great fest too, man. And I always see you out there. You're always doing
Yeah, the Brewfest is absolutely amazing. It's happening again this November 1st. We're one of the 3 charities, us, Angler Action Foundation. I think they still haven't picked the third one yet. Angler Action is another amazing local organization. They help with seawater and seagrass restoration.
Really?
We have a program we're getting ready to start with the Angler Action Foundation where we're going to take vets out and we're going to
Nice.
plant seagrass out in the waterways, and then we're going to
great.
ride around on the boats. We're going to do some fishing, snorkel some reefs, and then we're going to come back and have like a big barbecue with the vets and stuff like that.
That sounds
So it's
great.
it's a pretty cool program that we're putting together with them. I don't know if you know this, but the guy from Angler Action Foundation, Brett Fitzgerald, great guy. He's a former Green Beret.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good cat.
I don't know him, but
Yeah, pretty good
it
cat,
sounds awesome.
and trying to do good things. So switching gears though. Into your world, you were just talking about the police and some other stuff. The Supreme Court has made some crazy decisions here lately, which have all been, at least what I've seen on my end, I've just been like rooting the Supreme Court on. Can't believe some of the dissents that I've seen, but it is what it is. In those Supreme Court decisions, criminal justice reform, how do you see these decisions impacting your practice and your clients?
I think it only impacts it for good. Compassion, the thing is, people have to be punished. But it's all there is to it, especially bad people. But most of it. There's another part of the law that people don't understand is rehabilitation, right? Like this is some of the best. Martin County, we live in one of the best places on earth. But that Martin County jail is one of the best places around. Some of the finest people have spent a night or two in there. Everybody who remodeled my office has. I've heard some of the greatest, honestly, miracles from their time in there. Just like when we were in boot camp, or when I slept in a pricker bush in Bardera, Somalia for 3 weeks. Right? I learned a lot. So yeah, I think the criminal justice system's great. I think there's a place for jail. We have great judges here. They use the jail effectively. They really do. There is a little bit a need for that sometimes. But one of my favorite judges said one time that you just got to give them enough justice, but not too much. And I was busting somebody's chops on a plea deal when I was a prosecutor, and I remember the judge giving me a hard time, and he's like, "Mr. Colter, what's the difference between 13 months and 10 months?" I go, "Judge, it's 3 months." He goes, I think he didn't say in an attorney, but he said in the big scheme of things. If he's not going to learn it at 10 months, what do you need 13 for? So I think, criminal justice reform, I think the Supreme Court's got a hard job. I like what they did recently, kind of checking the district courts. I think that needed it because everybody loves judges, but
that was huge.
They were pushing it a little bit too much. They were just, right?
They weren't just pushing it. They were kicking the door in.
I know. But I love how they got reined in. A little bit like, hey, man, come on.
It gave me faith in my country.
Yes.
It gave me faith in my Supreme Court when they reined some things in. I had even sat back and thought about why is the congressional the congressmen and stuff not doing something about this? They're in control of all these district courts. Why aren't they just 86ing these guys? Like not like literally in that term,
right.
but cutting back the funds and
Did you
things
say
along
46?
those lines. Yeah, exactly. Right. So and I just didn't understand it. And then to watch the system work, as a novice from the outside, just a lay grunt 31 machine gunner, all of a sudden now I'm looking in going, oh. Yeah. This thing works. Yeah. This whole liberty is blind, or justice is blind, and liberty is there. This system works. Yeah. So another thought I have is in light of the increasing use of AI, which is absolutely all over the place, especially inside of the legal settings. Right. What are your thoughts on technology's role in the justice system and where we're heading in the future?
I think it's awesome. It's awesome in every sphere, but in our sphere, you know what? Being a lawyer is a learned profession, and what I like about AI is sometimes, I humble myself. Sometimes I don't know the answer, right? And I'll Google it, or now I'm using AI, open up a book. But some of these guys don't know how to humble themselves, want to know every answer, and they don't, right? So I don't even, and that's not a place I'll bluff in. I'll use Grok, or I'll use any other type of AI, ChatGPT, whatever, and just kind of, even if it's just like I looked at a journal or something, right? It's just, I love having that information there so that I can think through whatever I'm thinking through. And of course, I'll go to the law at some point, but so I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing how it can absolutely help you formulate thought,
yes.
and bring ideas that you something you were looking at in one way, it can see it in 5 or 6 other ways, and help you bring a lot more perspective to the situation. How do you address the challenges posed by misinformation? So what I mean by that is the effect on the public perception of the legal process.
In what sense? Like the legal process, that it's unfair or something? Or,
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is that old saying. I mean, if you want justice, don't go to the courthouse, right? That's why I love mediation. I don't want to go to the judge's scorecard. They're great people, but I'm the guy on the ground. I know the case. You know, I read my good book. I listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I read other books. I want to be right. I don't want to be wrong. So I want to get that case done. And I try to tell them that. It's like, you know, I bluff with trial a lot, but I tell my clients clearly, you don't want a trial. You know? Why? Because it's not always fair, man. It's somebody else making a decision. And so I think
Yeah, and it's final.
yeah. And I said earlier, we got good judges here. We do. Because most of the time you just come into the court to be heard. And a lot of people don't get heard, right? So there are times where I will say, okay, man, I'll manage their expectations. But I said, okay, yeah, we'll go to trial. And you know what? Just so you know, we might not win, but you'll be heard and you'll live happier over the next 10 years because at least your issues were heard, your problems were heard in an orderly setting, you know?
Yeah.
And people would rather lose like that. People don't mind losing like that too much. You know, no one wants to lose. But I'm not just gonna settle.
Yeah, you're
Right?
going to give them their chance to fight.
Without being able to tell you this is wrong.
Yeah.
And so, you know, obviously I admire great fighters like Trump who just challenge everybody, man, you know, and just
Dude's a beast.
the system, everything. And I think that's why people love him is and they've always loved him, is he'll fight for things even when it looks like when he started criticizing judges. A lot of people don't like that. You know, when he started criticizing the kneeling for the flag. Remember, we thought it was something about the guy. He says something, he irritates people, and then they come out of the woodwork, like with the American flag. And then the next Sunday or 2 Sundays later, there was 50 football players. Now you don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah,
right? Like
it's gone.
Hey, and he's got the picture of him holding the flag. I mean,
Yeah.
there's something about that type of confrontation that, you know, I like. And I think what's unique about us, honestly, is we're not like most attorneys. We're not white collar, left leaning, you know, which is nothing
No.
wrong with that if you want to be that way, but we're not. And you can, and we represent a lot of folks of every different way, but it's refreshing because most people don't like lawyers. They like their own lawyer, but lawyers in general, they don't like, you know what I'm saying? And
Well, I like you.
Hey, thanks.
You're a pretty
I appreciate
good dude.
it.
Hey, so reflecting on your career,
Yeah.
right? And this is kind of one of those moments to give back a little bit. What advice do you offer, or could you give out to veterans considering transitioning into law, and in what areas would you recommend them going into?
Man. Well, yeah, absolutely. Law is an unbelievable profession. I literally love it. I'm humbled by being a lawyer. I love to argue and fight for people. It's a great profession, and you know, any particular area, I don't know, but my favorite two are family and criminal defense. It's always moving. It is literally new every day, and if you're trying to do good, I mean, it's unlimited opportunity, right? And most people don't believe in anything. So your competition, most of them, you know, they're just kind of like, right? But if you come in there with passion, and plus there's a lot of money to be made for a good cause. The people they're a good cause, right? A lot of people are giving up
Yeah.
on them, man.
Yeah.
And for someone to give you money, it's actually humbling because that's the easiest part. Now you got to go do something. You got to change something, man.
Yeah.
And it's tough. So yeah, I think vets would love the law. Paralegaling too, man. Listen, a lot of folks don't understand. Paralegals are the most valuable. I love my paralegals. I always joke with people we have the best paralegals, but we really do. And they're so helpful, and they make so much money. And there's 401ks with the right firm, and there benefits and time off. And the only person in my firm that works 7 days a week is me. Everybody else 40 hours. Some of them stay a little bit longer, but I don't like it. And maybe Max, he's an Army vet. He works Saturday with me.
Cool.
But yeah, man, it's a great profession, and any vet with any interest will love it.
So, how do you maintain resilience and focus in the face of professional and personal challenges?
Well. You got to be able to somehow compartmentalize it, you know? And I do that. It is literally when I'm in fight mode, and I think it's divinely inspired. Someone else might call it something else, but I literally feel secure in the moment, in the battle. It's after that battle that I'm like, oh my God, like holy cow, I didn't have to say that, although it was right, but who wants to live that way? Remember when Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall,
Yeah,
evil
yeah.
empire, come on.
Yeah.
Those are the great things. And that's when people remember me. Like, they remember me not from when I played it safe, not for when I wanted to make nicey nice with opposing counsel, but when I fought for their embryos, when I fought for their kids, when I fought for their faith. You know what I'm saying? Like in a
Yeah.
parenting plan, or got them out of jail. Not everybody loves you, but at the same time, like being bold and realizing, boy, that's going to cost me something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's going to cost me something right there. So I don't really feel it in the moment. There's a couple times I felt it. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
I just stepped on a mine there. But those are some of the best times. And then, I pray a lot, brother, to keep my heart right. Because when someone starts getting mean and nasty, that's why I admire Trump in a lot of ways. He's tough, but he comes back and he forgives.
Yeah, he's got God on his side too.
And he wants
Absolutely.
to help,
Yeah.
And so, like, when people get nasty, I try to pray for them that they stop being nasty before we have to go, But yeah, people, it's just one of those things. I'd rather fight than not fight. I'd rather lose relational equity with somebody instead of
Rather lose the good fight.
right.
Right. Yeah.
I'd rather fight the good fight
Fight.
than settle so that somebody will like me.
Yeah.
And that's what I see with even people I've trained. They're like so happy. They're like, oh, hey, I went to mediation today. They were so happy to see me, because it wasn't me. I said, bro, don't ruin my reputation. If somebody's happy to see you, they disrespect you. I'm the guy. I've been fighting for 20 years. They've been talking trash about me. Honor the code. Don't give up on your client, and don't worry about being liked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do the right thing for the kids. Do the right thing for the money. And I've had a good time because they always come back, oh, everybody likes me. I'm like, no, bro. That's not what you want in life, man. A good linebacker, right? Hey, a good Marine.
Yeah.
Those camis were salty, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on, man.
You could see the salt on the
Yeah,
camis.
you gotta-
So with Law Patriot,
Yeah.
and this incredible thing that you have built, right? And from now listening to you, from the perseverance of absolutely nothing, right,
Nothing, man.
to where you are now. What is the legacy you want to leave behind? What is it going to mean at the end of the day to you? What is it you want to be remembered by?
All right. I want to be remembered as a fighter, somebody that would do the right thing. And the funny thing, buddy, we had that when we were 20, 21, 22. I don't know why, right? Like, they don't think you do that in a commercial business as well, or a charity, or anything else in life. I want to be known as a fighter too. I want to be known as a peacemaker, someone that forgives folks that even did them wrong. I want to be known as a giver, right? And I think I am, but I want to continue that. I love that. There's something about that I love. And then I think in the last, well, my wife don't like me saying the last, but the next 20 years, I want to focus more on family. I worked literally so many hours. One time no drinking, no drugs. I practiced law for 36 hours straight. Nobody understands that. Yes, bro. Just up here, I could see it, and I was good. It's nuts. And I gave up too much, especially my kids. So with the grandkids, I don't want to do that. So in that sense, I want to leave money to them, but I also want to leave that legacy, somehow balance family and business over the next 20, 30 years. That being said, Trump, he's my hero, and he only sleeps 4 hours a night, and his family loves him. So I don't know. I'm just being nicer and better at being a dad and a husband going forward. I don't know.
Well, Thomas, thank you so much for sharing your journey on the battlefield to the courtroom. Your dedication to justice in the community absolutely embodies the spirit of service that we celebrate here at the We Do Good podcast. To our listeners, remember the big thing, right? Remember to always start doing something good, stay inspired, stay engaged, and always, always, always do good and be kind to other people. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time on the We Do Good podcast. I'm Charles Dame signing out. Have a great one, everybody.